announce it in my Discord real quick too.
We're live, but you can keep going because it's fine. Yeah. We're just going to let people come on in, announce it in your Discord. I'm going to go find your tweet and retweet it.
Let's go.
But I clicked the button because I'm fast like that.
Works for me.
I have a countdown animation here that I never use. I just go live as soon as possible. Why would I want to count down from 30? Let's just do it.
Of course.
Hey, everybody. It's me, Andy Boyan from Chainlink Labs. Welcome to an AMA with Rare Pizzas, Pizza DAO. I've got Snax here. So me and Snax met at NFT NYC a couple of weeks ago, and at some event, and we just sat down and started chatting, and we hit it off because I love Pizza DAO, and Pizza DAO loves Chainlink. Putting words in your mouth, but that's what he said earlier.
Well, I love Andy. Pizza DAO loves Chainlink.
And then, okay, so it all worked out, and we just had this like really fun breakfast session and hung out, and so I was kind of looking at the calendar and like, hey, I haven't had Snax on. We had Rare Pizzas on an AMA a while ago with a bunch of people. I don't know. There were like, to 8 people on. Irvin was on and like all over the place. But I invited Snax on to get an update of what's going on. What can you do? Like, how do you get a box of pizza, Rare Pizza? And then also Pizza DAO has made this really, I think it's been a really cool impact of a lot of the live events, the conferences that have been around the world. And so I kind of wanted to talk to Snax a little bit about that and their motivation. And then, of course, this is all happening right before Basel, Miami, which I'm headed there tomorrow. I think you're headed there soon as well.
Yeah.
And we're doing another event there as well. We're doing another Chainlink panel on Wednesday, I believe.
Yep, and pizza.
Where we'll hang out. So welcome. If you are in the chat, we can see your chats. Hello, everyone. So feel free to drop your questions in there if you have them. And we'll talk pizza, and we'll talk DAOs, and we'll talk all these sorts of things. Snax, I just did my intro ramble. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to go to Miami. I dropped my phone on the floor. I don't really need it, but I picked it up. So yeah, I'm flying out at 3. I'm stoked. I got my morning coffee. I'm feeling good.
I gotta get an in screen. I got my tea here.
Cheers.
Christmas flatware. I have a little saucer. I've been using a cup and saucer. I just like it.
Wow.
I don't know why.
That's very cultured of you. I think I might make the transition to tea at some point. I'm in the interstitial, the cold brew, a little less caffeine.
Oh yeah.
Then switch to tea, and then you won't get a caffeine headache at 6 p.m. if you skip.
Yeah.
No problem.
That's what I did. I switched over to cut back, and now I drink one of these buddies every day, like just giant, massive amounts. So I totally failed. But, I'm well hydrated. At least.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least you get more hydrated than coffee.
All right. So give everybody, for people who are new to Pizza DAO and Rare Pizzas, give us the breakdown. What is Rare Pizza? What is the genesis and the idea behind all this?
Okay, so Pizza DAO comes from really, first of all, I'm really excited about small businesses moving onto the blockchain because businesses should be community owned, and especially small businesses, because many times businesses that neighborhoods know and love close for various reasons, right? And they don't need to, and that's something that Web3 can really help with. So I was kind of thinking about that really hard. Like, how do we get communities to own their small businesses? How do we build blockchain accounting software for small businesses? And then I was thinking about DAOs, of course. We're all thinking about DAOs. And thinking about how you can make a DAO for anything. You can make an ocean DAO. You can make a lake DAO. You can make a just blank DAO. And so I started thinking about pizza because it's just, it's pizza. And pizza is very popular. It has a long history with technology, being one of the first things sold on the internet back in the day. And then, of course, the first Bitcoin transaction, right? 10,000 Bitcoin, all praise Laszlo, May 22nd, 2010, big deal. And so started asking, what would it mean to make Pizza DAO? Which we think of it and we say, well, pizza is the boss. No one is the boss of Pizza DAO because it's a DAO, except pizza, because that's in the name, and that's who we serve, right? And I had read this book by Michael Pollan about plants. It's called The Botany of Desire, and it looked at the plant-human dynamic from the plant perspective. So it's kind of like, how have tulips and apples and marijuana and potatoes, how have they manipulated humans? And I look at blockchains a little similarly. And then I thought maybe we can think about pizza similarly. And so we asked ourselves, what does pizza want? Uh, what does pizza want? How can we serve pizza? And
Hold
that's
on right
actually,
here. Hold on right
yeah.
here. I love this all. Pizza is to ask what does pizza want. You have to kind of make an assumption here that I am very willing to make, and let me see if I can articulate it. Pizza is a special food, a special object in that it is quite mimetic. It has its own meme, and it has for a very long time, far before Pizza DAO, far before the internet. Right? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the obsession with pizza, Book It, at least in the United States, Book It and Pizza Hut, like that. It was a thing, a special thing. Pizza Fridays and school lunch was like a special event, and pizza was a special thing for a very long time, but not just like special like Thanksgiving turkey, like a big feast. It was a special everyday event that anybody could access, really. And it was super delicious, and it was weird, right? It was kind of cultural but not too cultural. Like it was this thing that a lot of people could adopt. So I think pizza has this really special place in American history. I don't know if it's the same for the world history. I would be really interested to hear about like how other cultures kind of have adopted pizza as well. But it has this mimeticness about it, which memes are shareable. It's like how people have a common understanding in culture. And so this is really interesting to say, well, what does pizza want? It's already a meme. It's already like in the cultural gestalt, the idea, the vibe, or whatever you want to call it. Trying to think of what's the less academic term from
Yeah,
gestalt
yeah.
vibe. So that's a really compelling question. So what does pizza want?
So what does it want? And so how do we serve pizza? And the answer is kind of in that question. It wants to be served. It wants to be eaten, right? And so then you say, well, how do we help pizza to be eaten? And so the kind of obvious answer there is, well, it has to be good and it has to be cheap. And then we said, well, what if it was actually free?
My wife's favorite joke is, what's the best kind of pizza? Free. Free pizza. It doesn't matter what flavor it is. Is it free? Oh, that's what I was kind of. I love it.
Exactly. And pizza, like as you're saying, right? It's such a powerful meme, and that's because it's good. It's not too expensive to make, and it's beautiful, right? There's something about a pizza that just has made people want to recreate it in GIFs, in memes, in art. Like it really looks amazing, right? And so where that kind of took Pizza DAO was, we were in the middle of, we were at the beginning of the NFT craze, really, that kind of kicked off. And because this started, I made a Pizza DAO Twitter account in January. And then in February, I'd been hanging out on Clubhouse and talking about NFTs, and it was people were getting pretty excited about it. Hash masks had just come out. Then I think it was just before CyberConks, right? So this was pretty early in the cycle. And we said, well, what if we make pizza hash masks? Somebody said, and they'd heard me talking about Pizza DAO for a while. We said, okay, great. So art already sells everything, right? In the world, in some way, right? So we're gonna cut out the middleman, so to speak, and we're gonna sell this pizza art, and then take the money and just buy pizza with it and give it away and throw a global pizza party. And so this is kind of how it developed. We got 314 artists to do the individual toppings from all over the world, because everybody knows about pizza, and most places on earth, yeah, they do have a pizzeria that they can go to. Some are not as good, in some places, right? Maybe they can only get a chain pizza, but we ran with it, and our community just kind of exploded. And the fundamental question that we were asking people was it was like, if somebody wants a slice of pizza, should they have one? And people would just say yes. Yeah. Yes, they should. And so that's where we started to think that maybe this Web3 thing can really change the world, and we can start to do things like say, pizza should be free. And that comes from, we love Buckminster Fuller over at Pizza DAO, and he's like a kind of 60s academic intellectual thinker, and he would always talk about how he called it Spaceship Earth, and we're all astronauts on Spaceship Earth, and Spaceship Earth has distribution problems, not scarcity problems. And if Web3 is distribution technology, then maybe we can start to approach scarcity in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always say on Clubhouse, one of my Snaxisms that I used to say on Clubhouse would be like, well, let's not reinvent Web 2 scarcity on the blockchain. Let's not reinvent IRL scarcity on the blockchain. Let's leverage digital scarcity to end real world scarcity. And so that was kind of the jump off. And we built this enormous community of pizza and blockchain lovers and art lovers all over. And we call them the Pizza Mafia.
Pizza Mafia represent. They're here in the house. I see them all in the chat. It's good to have all you guys here.
What's up, Pizza Mafia? And that's because I think many people have read Snow Crash in Web3, and Neil Stephenson is a personal hero. And the Pizza Mafia is actually a main character in Snow Crash. It's a main.
That's right.
Yeah. And so for those of you who haven't read Snow Crash, this is a book. It's set. I actually think it's kind of the proximal future, right? I mean, we're getting into Snow Crash territory, I think, on planet Earth here. And in this world, there are kind of three powers that remain that are major nation states, and it's like the federal government of the United States has sort of condensed to be just the Postal Service. They're based in DC, and then the Chinese government has a chain of Chinese restaurants all over the planet. And then the mafia has become a pizza chain called Uncle Enzo's, and they are just extremely powerful. And so Pizza DAO is following the footsteps of Neil's writing here and forming the actual pizza mafia.
Yeah, the first chapter of that book is him delivering a pizza, and that's kind of what kicks off the whole everything. Now that I recall, I love this idea of. So what I think a lot about is mechanisms and how they come to being, like how people play with game mechanisms or whatever it happens to be, incentive mechanisms. And Web3 is essentially like this sandbox of incentive mechanisms. It's like, okay, well, how do you want to orient them, and towards what purpose do you want to like point them, wind them up, and then let them go? And so to just think about that question of, okay, should pizza be free? How can we make pizza? If pizza should be free, how do we make it free? What do you do? Is just like, how do you align the incentives correctly to get to this desired state? And it is an iterative process, right? You guys are figuring out. It starts out like, well, let's do a celebration around Bitcoin Pizza Day. Let's lean into NFTs and figure out, how to get people excited just about Web3 in general and joining an organization that cares about this. And then these next steps are really about like, well, how do we use treasury funds or incentivized funds or whatever it happens to be to start buying pizza and giving it away? Now, I couldn't help but notice absolutely everywhere I went at NFT NYC, there were like massive stacks of pizza boxes everywhere. And I could not avoid pizza. So is this one of your strategies, is going out to the events and just being this ubiquitous pizza presence? Where did that come from? What's sort of the idea behind this? And what are some plans for the future on that as well?
So that was kind of emergent. We built this pizza organization, and then we naturally grew into being the go-to when anyone in Web3 wants pizza, which makes sense. I mean, we're Pizza DAO, so we're very happy to oblige. And we have this treasury that we have one mandate from our community with this treasury that we've raised by selling our rare pizza NFTs, and that is to spend it on pizza. And so we do it.
I love it.
And we, throwing a global pizza party for Bitcoin Pizza Day every year, we think is just a tremendous advertisement for the power of the blockchain, for Web3. To say, here's some free pizza, thank the Pizza DAO and Laszlo and the blockchain.
Okay, I want to talk about Pizza Party in a sec, because Global Pizza Party is another special thing that will be coming up now that we've got next May is coming up as well. So first there's this mandate, like this is just a really cool thing, is if you are a reasonably successful DAO, you get into the mind share in Web3 and you have a specialty, you get leaned into, right? So pizza, you have an event, you got to have some pizza. Okay, we're going to talk to Pizza DAO, and it becomes a staple, kind of this self-fulfilling prophecy. And I knew about Pizza DAO before, but like it helped stick in my mind again, right? That's how people remember things and think about things. It's like, oh, this event is happening, this is occurring, and it kind of gets stickier. And pizza is certainly sticky because it comes back around. So that's this really cool idea when you think about DAOs in generally. If people are thinking about why do you create one, how do you create one, what are the good that they're going to do, and how do you keep them going, is you got to find the sticky, right? It's like any product market fit. You got to find this level of stickiness.
And it's really interesting because whatever you have, whether it's about a community or actually it turns out about possessions, and maybe even in terms of like ideas, right? With Pizza DAO, whatever you have, the golden rule of communities, you'll get more of. I mean, I know this, right? You look at all these pins, right? I started collecting pins, and then people started, oh, you like pins, huh? And so they gave me more pins. Same happened to me with earrings. And so with Pizza DAO, that's happening with pizza. We are really building this kind of network of pizza that is just feeding back and growing. And so yeah, we are in Web3. We are becoming the pizza, the stop for pizza.
So we go to Miami. There's going to be some pizza parties. Are you guys giving away pizza in Miami?
Of course.
I'm in your Discord. I know the answer to this, but we got to say it for the people.
Yeah.
How are local pizzerias responding to this? Like they get an order for 200 pizzas or whatever. Is this a normal occurrence for them, or are they like, wow, this kind of changed? How are people responding?
Right. So when we want to get pizza from a local pizzeria, first we want to make sure that we're not going to ruin their day. we want to make sure they can actually turn out the pizza. And generally, I mean, people get into the food business because they love feeding people. It's and they love, because they love pizza, because they love people, because they love their communities. And so when we explain to them what we're about, they are just amazed. And when it started, when I was calling pizzerias to buy the pizza, it took a little while to figure out how to approach it. My first few calls, I said, "Hello, we're throwing a global pizza party, and it's powered by blockchain." And they're like, click. And we realized that you have to approach people where they're at. And so when I would call the pizzeria, I learned you say, "Hi, I'd like to buy $500 worth of pizza for Saturday, May 22nd." And then they transfer you to the manager. And then you say, "Yes, actually, you're going to just give this pizza away to your customers." And then they don't believe you for a little bit. And then you explain, it's a global pizza party. It's a joyous thing. Laszlo, blah, blah, blah. And then 200, some of them believed us enough to plan it, accept our money, give away the pizza. And so now, I mean, especially that we did that and that we have that proof of pizza. When we reach out to people today, it's a very different. We have, I think we're a little more confident because we have accomplished a lot, and we have evidence, and so people really, they get it and they're excited. And I guess the other thing that they were excited about, which we haven't touched on yet in this conversation, is that independent pizzerias have been talking for decades, it seems like, right? They say, when we talk to them, about building some sort of network between each other. And one of the goals of our organization is to create an independent open source pizza chain. And the idea there is that these big companies, the Domino's, the Pizza Hut, the Papa John's of the world, they are tech companies, especially Domino's. Like their app is pretty impressive. Their pizza, but their app, really impressive. And there's no reason that these small shops shouldn't have the same level of tech. And so when we talk to them about that, they get excited. And so when we start building this tech and delivering it to them, I think it's going to really change the game.
This is a common, when you look at independent businesses anywhere, if you don't have scale, you don't have a reason to like pay for an app or like good web design. You just throw up a website and whatever, and you run a Facebook account, and a ton of independent businesses just work on Facebook because it's free and it's easy to do. And some of those things like sourcing or communicating or broad regional campaigns or things like that are really hard to do for an independent shop unless you've got a built out team already. especially so starting up entrepreneurs, like if you're your first year in the business, it's so hard to make those connections and do those things. If there's so here's what Web3 does, right? It aligns incentives. It allows people to be connected in this way along maybe a technical level, but not necessarily at a business level. So independent businesses can rely on similar technology based on the same sort of incentive structures. That's really interesting and exciting as well. And bringing people kind of in the door with, we're going to buy $500 worth of pizza or more. What's the biggest check you've ever written or money transfer you've ever made for a pizza order?
Okay, so we bought 10% of the Bitcoin pizza. Remember when Pop launched Bitcoin pizza?
Mm-hmm.
He did 10,000. We bought 10% of those. So that was, I think, $25,000 or $30,000. And actually, we did better. We bought $50,000 worth of Slice codes from Slice, and then we just fired them out on Twitter. We gave a bunch to FaZe Clan. And they, like, I still have so many unread DMs in the Rare Pizzas account from FaZe Twitch viewers who are just like, pizza please, pizza please, pizza please. And and you know who else we're friends with the World Pizza Champions. I think we cut a check to them for $40,000 or $50,000, which they then distributed to their individual pizzerias in the network.
So the pizza industry is getting to know you guys too. Like, this is a thing. I don't know. Is there a pizza publication?
So there are pizza publications. We don't have fully mature relationships with the publications. We've been on a pizza podcast. We really like, I think, Smart Pizza Marketing. Bruce is pretty cool. And there are two big pizza organizations that I'm aware of so far, the World Pizza Champions and the US Pizza Team. And we're friendly with them. And then we were at the Pizza Expo in August, and we'll be there again next August, is in Las Vegas. And so we also believe that we can build technology for this. There are some forums but it seems somewhat fragmented.
Mm-hmm.
And so hopefully Pizza DAO can actually help the collaboration. We ask our pizzerias, what tech do you want? And one thing we've heard is everybody needs help sourcing talent. I mean, this is funny. So one of our pizza partners, Hector from Federal Hill Pizza in Billy Manzo's joint in Providence, is coming down to Miami with us because he's interested in art. He's excited to come to Art Basel with the Pizza Mafia. And we're partnering with a pizzeria down there. And he is going to do some specialty pies. He actually wants to make some of our Rare Pizza NFTs as real pizzas. And I said, have you seen these pizzas? Like, I don't want any spiders on my pizza. And he said, no, it's just the tasty ones. And but then the pizzeria that we're partnering with said, we're short-staffed. Do you think Hector can help us to turn out some extra pizzas on one of these days? And so we're going to talk to Hector. But so that's one thing. They need help sourcing employees. And we have this idea that we can actually do pizzeria exchange programs where we could get somebody, like we have a huge network in South America and in Latin America, because our Spanish language team run by Don Malbec, who's from Chile, they are just phenomenal. And we know that it's fun to travel. It's fun to travel. And so we have this idea that we could do exchange programs where pizzerias in the United States, pizzerias in Europe, China, wherever, right, could exchange employees. And because we're a big enough organization to figure out how to do all the visa stuff and kind of get that all done within a structure, we could facilitate those exchange programs, which I think will enrich people's lives just tremendously. So that's one thing they want to help with. The other thing,
I'm thinking about chorizo on pizza now, Snax, and just like a South American sort of Latin flavor there. Oh man. Yeah, I just had a moment.
Yeah, I have a Mexican fusion pizzeria right up the street from me in South Philly, and they are very beloved neighborhood. But the other thing they wanted help with was secondary equipment sales. And so these are two things that we're going to look into building. And So we're forming relationships, on one hand, obviously with these pizzerias, but then on the other hand, we're forming relationships with the developer communities in Web3.
Mm-hmm.
So we're making friends with Developer DAO. We are friends with Gitcoin. We are friends with Chainlink, of course. Chainlink, so many devs in the Chainlink community. To that end, we should touch on VRF pizza parties.
Oh yeah, we should.
We'll come back to that. And we're Raid Guild. We love Raid Guild. D.org. So all of these Web3 developer organizations where, look, the other thing, we're building open source. Our whole stack is open source. Our NFT is open source. Our website is, it's actually currently on Webflow, but we're going to move to WordPress because open source. And the thing about developers is that, and I'm like a baby developer. I know just enough to be slightly dangerous to the code base. But what we all know as devs is that we stand on the shoulders of open source code bases. That's how everybody learns. And so, especially today, when so many devs, especially in Web3, have made good money, and they don't have to take jobs they don't want, everybody wants to build open source. And yeah,
I find developers, writers, a lot of people, it does, not even Web3, people want to build something that they're proud of. People want to build something that's meaningful to them and that impacts something that they can see. And local is something you can see. If it benefits a local pizzeria, something that you may use, this ties back into building for something that you care about. Building for something that has a larger impact than just this one, mom and pop shop, which you might care about, but doesn't have this huge impact. So there's a lot of boxes to tick there. And especially when it comes to DAOs and, the raid guilds and meta cartels and such of the world is, getting people just to align, enough people to align to build something interesting to move it forward. That's kind of the key. So you're just ticking a lot of those boxes here as well. So very much appreciate that. Best place. All right, we're coming up on time, so real quick, I'll just say how you guys are using Chainlink. One of these pizzas that you can buy with Pizza NFTs, you can buy are rare pizzas where the toppings are decided randomly by a Chainlink VRF call, and so there's a ton. Should we share the screen here? Can you share the screen? Do you have stuff pulled up?
Yeah, I can. You want to see some pizzas on OpenSea?
Yeah, let's see some pizzas that people have made. Patrick Collins, one of our developer advocates, when this first came out, ordered a real pizza based on a randomizer. He did a randomizer to randomize and pick the toppings and got it delivered to his house. It was ridiculous and fantastic. So shout out to Patrick for that. He did not get one of these random pizzas. Here's a bunch of these pizzas here. What do we got?
All right, so let's see. I could pick up one of my favorites. I think my favorite pizza so far where is it? I think this is my favorite, the eyeball pizza here. I'm a big fan of this one. So, and our dev actually, Don Volare, he did some wizardry here with Chainlink, and we're actually we're using VRF on mainnet for the boxes, which is randomized. But then we're using Polygon VRF for the pizzas to save a little coin. So
developers who are interested in VRF, this is a great code base to look into to see how they combine those two things and go do a VRF on Polygon to bring stuff back. And I've heard of a couple other projects working on that as well. So that is becoming an important way that people are using VRF.
Let's see what are some. Oh, here's a cool thing. So the Pleaser DAO's Dog DAO, which owns the original Shiba image. We traded them a pizza box for official permission to use the Doge on our pizzas.
Cool.
And so here is a pie that came out with Doge cheese, and it also has a poaperoni topping. So these are the POAPs that we've given out over time. And then it's got some sprinkles, some oil spills. It's on a moon crust with some space sauce. So, and a little blue cheese there hiding.
Yeah.
So this is a pretty rare pie, I think. And provably rare. with our Chainlink VRF. Um,
I have a sticker that I got from you. I wanted to ask you about it.
yeah.
Before we wrap up, I can't get my phone to recognize this QR code. I'm getting a new phone soon, so I'm going to try again. What do these do? If somebody meets you and you get a sticker, what do these do? I've been trying to do it, but I can't do it.
So let me switch to back to this. Which sticker? The Shiba sticker?
Yeah, I got a Shiba.
Okay, so
They all do something a little different.
So that's from the Super Shiba community. I'm a Shiba holder, and that's where actually I don't know where they're at. I hear that there was a bit of a mutiny. I don't know what is going on with the Shibas right now. I think the artist and the devs had a split. So the Shiba community is forking. I don't know who has control of the QR codes today. But I mean, I'm definitely gonna fall on the side of Susie, who is the artist, wherever she ends up.
But what does it do if I click that QR code? Does it take me to their Discord or?
I think she had some POAPs set up for some of the
POAPs.
Didn't I give you the rare one? It's rare because it was foily.
Yeah, I have that one too.
Oh yeah, that's the extra rare one. Yeah, I like that one.
So I got a couple of stickers. I don't know what they do yet. I'm waiting until I get a new phone. I'm all busted up here. But if you are down in Miami, audience community, where should you they go to find pizza and snacks? Go to the Discord. There's information in Miami there about Miami. There's a specific Miami channel. And then on Wednesday, for sure, there is an event that I am moderating. You'll be on that, or will somebody else from Pizza?
I'll be there. 4 p.m. At the what is the venue? It's in Wynwood, I think. It's called.
We'll post more about that. It will be on chain.link/events as well. That'll be up there, and Pixel Vault will be there as well, and I think Eternity also. Yeah. So we'll be talking a lot about NFTs in different communities, all sorts of things. So if you want to come out, meet me, hang out with me and Snax, and talk pizza, get some pizza, do all that stuff, we would love to have you out there. Is Discord the best place to go and hang out with the Pizza DAO community, Snax?
Discord is the center of Web3 as we know it today. So that's the place. And we'll also be at DecentralCon. We will have free pizza both days. And we will be at that Chainlink event with free pizza. And I'll be on the panel. That'll be fun. And then there's an after party that I think we're going to invite everyone to come to. If they haven't eaten enough pizza already, they can come have more pizza on a rooftop in Miami Beach at the Sky Yard rooftop bar, which I think is going to be really fun. And we're partnering with a bunch of other DAOs and organizations to do that.
Hey, man, it's been awesome catching up and bringing this to our community and your community. Thank you, everyone, for attending. I didn't get to any questions. I'm sorry. I blew it. I didn't get to any questions. So you have to just message us on Twitter or in the comments, and we'll get back to you. But I just got into talking about pizza and a great conversation with Snax, as I always do, man. I appreciate you coming on. And follow this guy on Twitter as well. I'll put all that information down below where you guys can find everything in the description. So I'll talk to you later, man.
Yeah, total pleasure. Good to see you.
Whoop, wrong one. There, it's me. I'm back. Hey, everybody, be sure to like and subscribe. We do a couple of these per week. I'm only doing one this week because, like I said, I'm going to Miami. We're doing a couple of panels. We are recording those, so we will be able to bring you those panels in the coming weeks. So kind of keep an eye on this YouTube channel. You can subscribe and get updates there. Somebody in the chat did ask, how do you get notifications about when these are going to be? Okay, I'm gonna explain it. If you go to the Chainlink YouTube channel, there is a section that says videos, and then there's a little drop down menu that says upcoming live videos or something like that. So that's how to kind of see what's coming up. And then we tweet about them from the smart_contract Twitter account when they're coming up, usually the day of, or maybe sometimes a little bit before as well. So you can always follow me on Twitter as well. I'm at Andy Boyan, and follow at smart_contract for a bunch of information about these types of events. And of course, follow at Chainlink for all of our major news announcements and technical announcements and things like that. Let's see. We've got a bunch of questions in here. Thank you, Snax, people are saying. Very Rare Pizza, people are saying. Poperoni, people are laughing about. Thank you all for coming and attending and for your positive vibes. Appreciate those. We'll see you next time on Chainlink YouTube.